But in the meantime, we want to go to Washington and get the thoughts of our other guest joining us right now. There he is, Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, you were in the chamber. Talk to us about what it was like in the chamber, and also talk to us, if you would, about your first reaction to the speech.
Well, it was a State of the Union like no other. Members were seated on the floor in the gallery. I was near Jill Biden up in the gallery. But I thought the president did a remarkable job. And I was struck by one thing in particular. He's been compared a lot with Franklin Roosevelt because of the size of his ambitions for the country and what he wants to do to lift people out of poverty and get people working again. But I also found it much like Harry Truman, just in how plain-spoken the president was. He is not, trying to be a, fine elocution. He isn't, speaking Shakespeare. He's speaking the language of ordinary Americans. His whole agenda is designed to the needs of ordinary Americans, and I think probably around the country, it was a total home run, even if among some of the insiders in the Beltway, you're going to get partisan views on it.
Well, you bring up size of ambition, size of government. You just heard John bring up the fact that this is $6 trillion total. What's your response to that? How will that be pushed through?
Well, I guess I would have liked to hear John be concerned about the deficit or debt when we passed a $2 trillion tax cut a few years ago that added $2 trillion to the debt. What the president is proposing is to pay for this. And those pay-fors, the president explained, will come by asking large corporations and very wealthy people to pay their fair share. He pointed out that you had some of the largest corporations in America pay not a single dime in federal taxes. That just isn't right, particularly when there's so many unmet needs in infrastructure with our roads and our bridges, but also in our human infrastructure. Young people that can't afford college because it's so expensive. So he's got a plan to pay for it, and I think that's a very important part as well. On the style of it, as you mentioned, it was, speaking out, reaching out. On the substance of it, it is a very, very progressive agenda that is being put out there. Do you see any path to actual Republican compromise on this? And do you think that this is going to be able to get through, even if it means getting those $6 trillion in spending through on reconciliation on party line only? Well, it is a very progressive plan. But what I was struck by listening to him is how popular each of the elements of that plan are. And I felt myself, feeling a little bad for my Republican colleagues in the chamber because they knew just how popular his proposals are among their own constituents on everything from, providing those $1,400 checks in the bill we passed, the rescue plan, to investing in infrastructure, to helping young people pay for college, to helping people with paid family and parental leave when they have a sick family member. These all enjoy overwhelming support among the public. Even things that are really controversial within the Capitol, like a ban on assault weapons, are very popular among the American people, including members of the NRA. I hope we can get to yes on an infrastructure package, and it's encouraging, as the president said, that some of the Republican senators are coming up with their own proposals so that we can sit down at a table and negotiate. But the president is exactly right to say, look, we're going to try to get to yes, but doing nothing is just not an option.
And just a real quick last question. You have been in that chamber for so many states of the union before. Just talk about how weird it was, or was it weird with all that distance and the masks and the whole thing? I mean, what was that like?
It is very strange. This whole pandemic year has been very strange, but to sit so far apart from each other, to be watching the State of the Union from the gallery, I've never had that experience before. Not to be able to walk on the House floor and say hello to the senators and the cabinet members and the justices. Really, for me, that's part of the fun of the State of the Union is having that opportunity. So it was different, but I'm glad nonetheless that we were able to do it. And it does feel like we are getting back to some sense of normalcy.
Well, we know that 300 members of Congress didn't even get the invite, so you got to at least be inside the room. Congressman, thank you so much, and nice to see you.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.